Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Aisyah. And here I want to tell about my thesis. And the title, Students' Attitude Towards Cooperative Learning in Reading Comprehension at English Department Jambi University. Introduction. Point 1. Background of the study. Reading is become something important and necessary for students in teaching and learning process because their success in study depends on the greater part of their ability in reading. The student who have good ability in understanding a text will be easier in catching the information from the text given. It is the process of combining textual information with the information a reader brings to a text. Based on the problems above, the researchers want to conduct quantitative research to solve the existence of reading problems by using cooperative learning. Cooperative learning gives the students many advantages development. Furthermore, cooperative learning enables the students become more active in learning. In this case, cooperative learning can develop students' ability. Cooperative learning can help the students to learn reading comprehension that can be applied broadly. Next, research question. Research question have two questions. First, what are students' positive and negative attitudes towards cooperative learning? 2. What are advantages and disadvantages of cooperative learning work based on students' attitude? Research objective. This study aims at finding out attitude of fourth semester students of English Education Study Program of Jambi University towards cooperative learning in reading implemented in classroom. Moreover, this research also aims at investigate advantages and disadvantages of cooperative learning in reading based on students' attitude. Limitation of the research. This research was conducted at English Education Study Program of Jambi University. Participants of the study are the fourth semester students. Significance of the research. Result of this research will provide information about students' positive and negative attitudes towards cooperative learning. From students' positive attitude, advantages of cooperative learning were concluded. On the other hand, disadvantages of cooperative learning were derived from students' negative attitudes. For teachers, can use this information to improve learning strategy related to cooperative learning to make it more effective to be implemented in classroom. In addition, the information can be used to prevent students' negative attitudes of bad effect of cooperative learning so that cooperative learning can be used as a trustworthy method to aid students. Chapter 2. Review of related literature. Concept of attitude, definition of attitude, cooperative learning, type of cooperative learning, advantages of cooperative learning, characteristic of cooperative learning, definition of reading comprehension. Review of previous study. Some studies have discussed about cooperative learning strategy in their research. First goal, 2004 15 conduct as research entitled Effect of Cooperative Learning Students' Academic Achievement. Second, Newsby 2018 study entitled The Implication of Cooperative Learning Strategy on Students' Academic Achievement. This study adopts a descriptive survey design. Third, Altun S. 2015, the effect of cooperative learning on students' achievement and view on the science and technology course. Chapter 3, Research Methodology. Research design. Researchers use quantitative method design which aim to identify the attitude of English study program of Jambi University for semester. The research used survey by administering closed-ended questionnaire using Google Form application. Population and sample. Population of this research is students of English Education Study Program of Jambi University, and the sample is the process of selecting a few from a bigger group, the sampling population, to become the basis of estimating or predicting the prevalence of an unknown piece of information, situation, or outcome regarding the bigger group. Technique of data collection. To collect the quantitative data, researchers used a closed-ended questionnaire. First, researchers collected data by giving questionnaire to the fourth semester 34 students who are fourth semester students of English Education Study Program of Jambi University. In this case, the researcher distribute the questionnaire via Google Form application. Instrument. Questionnaire. Researcher adopt the questionnaire from my senior Nur Atiyah, the answer to which are recorded by response. In a questionnaire response, read the question. And the next, technique of data analysis. To analyze the quantitative data, the collected data was entered in SPSS program. Descriptive statistics was conducted to determine the frequency of the greater data. Chapter 4, Finding of Questionnaire. In this section, researchers present the result of calculation from questionnaire given to the students use Google Form. These results are divided into 6 parts based on specification of statements. They are including effect of group work, students' role and participation, first attitude, preference of group member, group grade, and others problems in the questionnaires. In this section, researchers will present the result of calculation for questionnaires given to students. The result will be defined into 4 parts based on specification of such statement in the questionnaire: positive attitude, negative attitude, advantages and disadvantages. Now I want to explain finding questionnaire, positive attitude, negative attitude, and advantages and disadvantages. So number 1, positive attitude. For statement about positive attitude: I do my job. Accept a job or assessment. with better quality of reading when I work in a group member. So this statement students dominant choose yes. Researchers this study deal with attitude towards the use of authentic material depicted by students in English for Learners classroom. And the negative attitude. Next, for statement about negative attitude, I want to read a questionnaire about negative attitude. The work takes longer to complete when I work with other students. So this statement, students dominant choose no. Question number 2. I end up doing the most of the work when I work in a group. And students dominant choose no, because some students because from chart above in conditions, some students take attitude towards group work implemented in their classes. Lending some negative attitude is statement we spend too much talking about others things when we work in a group. Some group members get a good grade even if they do not do much work, and the work takes longer to complete when I work with the students. From result of these two statements, we can conclude that the work takes longer to complete because they spend too much talking about other things rather than doing their statements. Next, advantages. In this section, researchers will discuss advantages and disadvantages of group work based on student positive and negative attitude. In this statement advantages point, the work of reading is divided equal to all group members. Receive students dominant choose yes. Because based on students' positive attitude, research found out the advantages of cooperative learning are students are able to share their opinions and ideas. Students enjoy the material more. The workload is less for every student. Students respect their peers' opinion. Students help each other in explaining material to their group members, and they can do their assessment with better quality. And the next disadvantages. This statement disadvantages. Some groups members forget to do the work. So this statement students dominant choose no, because disadvantages of group discussed are based on students' negative attitude towards cooperative learning. It can be concluded that the disadvantages of cooperative learning are students spend too much time talking about other things. Some students forget to do work. Some students get a good grade despite their contribute to the group, and students often cannot get together outside of the class. Chapter 5. Conclusion and Suggestion. This chapter presents conclusion based on the finding and discussion in the previous chapter and offers some suggestion to the students' attitude towards cooperative learning and reading comprehension at English Department, Jambi University. Conclusion. From finding and discussion of this research, it can be concluded that group work implemented at English education of Jambi University received positive and negative attitude from students as well as its advantages and disadvantages. So point number 1, positive attitude. Firstly, research showed that positive attitude of students are students enjoy the group work and students enjoy using cooperative learning. Students become friends with each other. Students share and discuss their idea and opinion. Negative attitudes. On other hand, negative attitude of students are students spend too much time talking about other things that often forget to do their work because they keep talking about unrelated topic. Students want to be in a same group with their close friend. Some students work harder than others, but they get some group grade. Advantages. Advantages of cooperative learning are the group work from better learning environment. In cooperative learning, in reading comprehension, students learn how to social and work as a team. They can listen to other opinions rather than just their own, and they learn how to respect each other's opinion and idea. By doing this, students can improve their communication skill and the same time. And the disadvantages. As for disadvantages of cooperative learning, the biggest concerns in the group grade not fair. Some students claim that they work hard than others members, but they got some grade. Students also want to be with their just friends. If in a group, this can cause students to be picky about their group members. Suggestion. In this case, lecturer can contribute by monitoring and direct the students during process of cooperative learning. Students might too much talking about unrelated topic. In this time, lecturer give the warning or direction. In others, they can get back to the track. Lecturer also should consider in grouping the students in. Is better to not always give the opportunity to choose their own group members, but consider grouping by looking at their ability so the students do not feel unfair in they get members who are only low-level students. Students also have to learn how to adjust themselves with the group members. Based on the conclusion above, its suggestion for the next researcher who wants to the research as this research to give more question to get more specific and easy to understand topic about the students' attitude towards cooperative learning in reading comprehension, and other researcher can use cooperative learning using different skills, for example speaking in narrative text or others. So thank you, sorry for my mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.